Hi, it's Jen. So, you've decided to take the leap. You have friends that said you should be on Etsy. You're doing your research, you're reading articles, you are watching videos, and you are ready. You are going to open your very own Etsy shop, and you're going to give this a try. So, what's next? Well, I'm going to take you through a few steps of what you might need to do to get yourself started with your very own Etsy shop. So I'm going to share my screen with you so that you can see where we're going to go. So it just so happens that Etsy gives you quite a few really great pieces of advice. And the first place you're going to want to go is right here. And it is this address, help.etsy.com. And once you get here, there's a tab, Selling with Etsy. There's some answers and some questions. There's even some special sections. Can I sell on Etsy? And this is going to get into items that you can't sell, things you can sell, how to set up your shop, do I need a business license, and so on and so forth. Choosing your shop name, and then of course adding listings to invite people to purchase from your shop. So very, very briefly, the Can I Sell on Etsy, what's considered to be handmade. Etsy is a handmade seller's marketplace. So you might have pieces you might purchase from a store or from a wholesale outlet. Maybe you make jewelry and you buy your supplies in bulk, but then you are crafting the item. You are making the bracelet, the necklace, the other form of adornment, and that is the craft. That is something you worked on and created and finished it with your own hands. Now, Etsy also does allow you to sell supplies used to make the craft. So perhaps there's an option for those of you who are in the jewelry arena where you might be making and selling finished merchandise, but you might also have a really great source for something that is unique that you want to offer in your shop. And those are things that Etsy considers craft supplies because it is being used to make other things. There is a list of items that are prohibited on Etsy. Familiarize yourself with this page. Before you open your Etsy shop, read this entire document so that you understand what Etsy allows and what they do not allow. Then you are going to go ahead and open your shop. So if you are up here, to open an Etsy shop, you are going to go to etsy.com/sell. So let's click that. We'll launch into the next window. And here are some more things about the fees that you pay. Yes, Etsy does charge a commission. There is a listing fee. Every time you create a new listing, it charges you 20 cents. Every time it sells and renews, there's another 20 cents. And then there is a percentage of the entire sale that Etsy takes. So all of this right here, the tools, support, other people's stories, and the frequently asked questions. This is an incredible resource. So rather than rehash everything that's here, familiarize yourself with these things and then go in and you will get started. And what Etsy will have you do is choose your email address. Be sure to use a good email address, one that you monitor regularly so that you can get your notices. And this will also be the email address where your customers will be contacting you. So make sure you choose a good email address when you are first setting up your Etsy account. So that is the basics about that. Let's go back to one point here for a moment. Let's jump to some of the basic things, and that would be naming your shop. So this is possibly the stage that you're at right this moment. You're going to do this. You've got something. Your friends have been encouraging you. You maybe have actually been already selling your handmade items on the side. You may have been to local craft markets selling your items, and you're curious, can Etsy help me to sell more of my item? So choosing your shop name is an important part of starting, because it is, after creating your account, it is the next step. So when you are choosing your shop name, again, we're back at the help.etsy.com page. They give you some suggestions for how to choose your shop name. They're suggesting not making it too long. They're suggesting between 4 and 20 characters in length, not to use any special characters or symbols, no profanity. And here's the big one. It cannot be a name that is already in use by another Etsy member. So, this one can sometimes get people a little bit stuck. So we're going to do a little research project here, and I'll show you how you might be able to be creative with your name and claim your Etsy shop name. And there's one more very important thing, and this has to do with all of Etsy. It has to do with products that you will sell, not just your business name. You may not use a name that is already copyrighted. You cannot use a famous name. You cannot use a movie character, a cartoon character's name, a business that is already established out in the world. You cannot make that name part of your name. So let's take a kind of a far-fetched example here. Perhaps your family last name is Potter and your first name is Harold. You cannot, even though it is your name, you cannot name your shop your nickname and your last name, because it sounds to be like a very famous movie character who is a young boy who was going to a very special school to learn about wizards. Can't do that. Even though it is your name, you can be more creative and you can use part of your name. You can make a play on words of that, but just don't take something that is already being used by a very big brand. And then a little more on this later. Keep that in mind when you are putting products into your shop and how you title them. You cannot use anything from the big brand that has a very famous mouse as its mascot. Now, you're going to say, well, wait a minute, Jen. I was just on Etsy the other day, and I see a lot of people have these things out there, and I don't understand why I can't have them out there too. There is a rule that you have to pay the licensing. So it is entirely possible that the shop you're looking at has paid the licensing and the royalties to some of those very big name brands. It's possible. It is also possible that they have put that listing out there and the people who research copyright infringement just haven't caught up with them quite yet. So as a best business practice, just don't do it. And that best business practice starts with choosing your shop name. So let's go out and figure out how we can do some research on choosing a shop name. So I'm now in Etsy, and I am going to use the search bar up at the top, and I'm going to search for a shop name. I am in my mind, maybe my name is Madeline and I make knitted and crocheted items by hand. And I want to have a shop name like this. And then I'm going to click this right here, Find Shop Names Containing. And the good news is that if I wanted to name my shop Maddie's Knits, it's open. Let's choose something a little more generic, like you make jewelry and you are planning on also selling the supplies to make jewelry. So you have beads and you have more. Let's see if that name is available. Beads and more. And there are 8 pages of results here where people have used something very similar to that. For me, I don't know if I would use a version of this. I think I might try to find something that is a little bit more unique. Maybe your name is Jen and you're just going to say Jen's Beads and More. Let's see if that helps us. And guess what? Jen's Beads and More is available, so you could use that if you really wanted to. So this is the process you're going to go through. Search it out. Write down your favorites and then choose one. And then you might even consider, whichever version of email you are using, you might make sure that you have an email address that coordinates with your shop name. So do that. Do your research, come out here, search for it. Remember to avoid the big brand names, avoid any characters, and avoid any movie names, any designer names. Avoid those things. Try to find something, again, if there's anything that you can do when you are choosing your shop name. They are giving you these tips, so spend some time over here at help.etsy.com and then also over here at etsy.com/sell. And get your shop opened up, plug in your email address, and then the next thing that we'll do is we will fill out all of the information inside that Etsy shop. So get your setup, follow that dream, keep your momentum. You got to keep moving forward. You got to do a little bit at a time. Don't let it be overwhelming. This can be fun. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.